Hello everyone. Today we are making a Steven Universe gem power tier list. I'm just gonna say if you're like halfway through Steven Universe, this will have massive spoilers. So if you want to watch this video without spoilers, then make sure you've watched the whole season plus the movie and the future season. Alright, here's your chance to leave. Alright, let's get right in. Alright, so our first character, I think this is Holly Blue Agate. So I would say this is somewhere here. It's, yeah, strong, maybe. So we've got a lot of characters here. I'm gonna sort of go zoom over these, like, not very important characters. If it was like Pearl or Garnet or Steven, for example, or especially Steven, I'd spend a bit more time talking about them. But yeah, these first ones aren't very important. Alright, I believe this is Alexandrite. I would say this is definitely yeah, godlike. Yeah, they're not actually in Steven Universe much, but yeah, I don't really like them. Amethyst. Alright, so for this one, I would say it's roughly the same level as Holy Blue Agate, even though it's one the well, it's one of the main characters in the show, so I think I'm gonna give it a top tier strong. Aquamarine. Right, Aquamarine is an epic character, especially with the Bluebird episode. I'm gonna give Aquamarine a very powerful because yeah, I'm gonna give Aquamarine a very powerful because her wand could actually like yeet Garnet and Pearl around, I'm pretty sure. I wasn't really paying attention in that episode, but yeah. But yeah, it is pretty strong. So that's why Aquamarine will be a very powerful. Bismuth, definitely a top tier, very powerful. It almost took out Steven in that episode. But yeah, we'll move on. I don't really have anything much to say for Bismuth. I think a lot of people don't really like Bismuth that much. Like on a normal tier list, I would probably rate it like a D or a C. I'm not sure why. Bismuth is a cool character. Blue Diamond. God. I mean, except White Diamond or Yellow Diamond, I would say Blue Diamond is pretty much. I think the only ones that will go on God is maybe blue, yellow, and white, and then Obsidian as well, because Obsidian is well, Obsidian could literally slice through the gem's ships or the Yellow Diamond's ship. So yeah, who's this? I don't know. I have no idea who this is actually. I'm assuming this is this Blue Diamond's Pearl? If I see Blue Diamond's Pearl. Alright, I think that's Blue Diamond's Pearl. I'll say weak. That does not look very strong at all. Bluebird. Alright, so I would still say it's very powerful above Aquamarine, because again it's a fusion of Eyeball and Aquamarine. It's an actually pretty cool character. I like the twist of Greg having to cut his own hair to save to save Mini Homeworld and the rest of the gems. If you don't know the context of that, Bluebird after Ruby and Aquamarine unfused, they captured Steven's dad, which is Greg, and said that they would hurt him if Steven didn't destroy his house, burn down Mini Homeworld, and bubble all of the gems. But yeah, I'll move on from that now. I've got the name of this one, but I would say it's a decent level. There was some pretty deep lore behind this one. I think Yellow Diamond did fix that one. It used to be like a centipede. Centipede, well, I think that might have been its name. Yeah, let's move on from that one. Alright, the cluster. I can't tell between godlike and god. I would say it's maybe top tier godlike, stronger than Alexandrite, but still weaker than Blue Diamond, so I would say I would put it here. The cluster isn't really mentioned much in the show. It's not really a big part of the show, except I really like that episode where the gems are on like Stephen Watermelon Island, and Stephen had to like go to sleep or something to go back to Peridot, and they had to drill down into the earth. It was something like that. Eyeball. I would say Eyeball could possibly be a weak gem, possibly, because rubies by themselves are not really strong. Yeah, you know what? We'll give it a top tier weak, I guess. Yeah, alright. Alright. I couldn't tell, but I can't tell between decent and weak. This character doesn't really have much screen time, but it is about like 23 different gems. But I guess that just makes like this character sort of can't even like doesn't even hold a weapon, and it's just way too big. So I'm gonna give it a weak. Garnet. Garnet is definitely probably not godlike, but definitely top tier, very powerful. Yeah, definitely above Bismuth, I would say. Lots of people don't really like Garnet for some reason, but I think she's a cool character. So yeah. Jasper. I'm considering godlike for Jasper because he is, well, I think he's one of the most strongest Jaspers that there is. Definitely, maybe stronger than Garnet. I would say maybe in the very powerful tier. Maybe weaker than. I would say this is one of the most toughest decisions. You know what? I'm going to put that as weaker than Garnet and hope that that's correct. Alright, let's see. The main Lapis from that one episode from Steven Universe Future. Decent. This character was like, I hated this character. Like, they were mean for no reason to Lapis. I don't even have, you know what? Forget about that. Lapis. Alright, I'm considering Lapis above, Lapis is definitely above Garnet. Possibly even godlike. I would say it's still staying in a very powerful tier. Probably, possibly bottom tier godlike. But yeah, we'll leave it as that. I think the ability she has to like chuck water around and stuff and like summon chains is pretty good. And she was also able to hold down Jasper in the form of Malachite for a very long time. But yeah. Malachite. Malachite is definitely a godlike fusion. Lapis Lazuli and Jasper, which are two extremely strong fusions, or not fusions, gems themselves. I think Malachite was a cool actual part of the show, especially the battle on Stephen and Watermelon Island. That was pretty cool. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. I don't want to blab too much about random things because we've got a bit more to go. Alright, this was when Volleyball and Pearl fuse. I think people are calling this Mega Pearl, so I'll call this Mega Pearl for now. This could possibly be godlike or top tier very powerful. I'm gonna make it bottom tier godlike, just for the sake it could smash through the reefs like shells. Like it could throw Steven through the shells. I know what I'm even talking about. Alright, nice Lapis. I think it's a tiny bit weaker than Mean Lapis, so but actually this one's weaker than them. But yeah, alright. We're good. Obsidian. God. Obsidian was with his sword, or with her sword, was able to slice through the Yellow Diamond ship, like, yeah. That was a pretty, I think the last episode of Steven Universe, well, it was the only episode of Obsidian, was an extremely good episode, especially the whole White Diamond pulling out Steven's gem part. That was pretty good actually. Well, not good for Steven, but yeah. Opal, very powerful. Let's just put it at that. Pachamankar, bottom tier weak. Like you could beat Pachamankar yourself. Like she probably wouldn't even see you coming. Like yeah, she can't even see. All right, you know, yeah, that's good. Pearl. I would say Pearl is probably a top tier strong or a bottom tier very powerful. I would say, yeah, let's give her a top tier strong, just above Amethyst. I guess Aquamarine is stronger than her. Yeah, because of the wand, I would say. But yeah, that's Pearl is my second favorite character, my second best favorite character in the whole series. But I think you can guess who my favorite character is if you've actually watched Steven Universe. And it's coming right up. It's Peridot. It's Peridot. Peridot is no. Peridot is the best character in all of Steven Universe. I would say some of you would agree on that and some of you would disagree. But Peridot is a bit weak, so I would say it may below these Lapis sisters or Lapis twins. Because I guess she can do the metal thing, and she did take out the Jasper fusion with that metal pole in the beta kindergarten. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Still gonna give her a decent though. All right, Steven. Steven, what do we do? Major spoiler, but Steven is actually his mum, which is Rose Quartz, and his mum was actually Pink Diamond the whole time. So I would say Steven would go in the god tier, maybe below Obsidian, because yeah, you know, Obsidian is well, actually, yeah, Obsidian would be stronger because it includes Steven. But yeah, that means Steven, Pink Steven, Rose Quartz, and Pink Diamond. I'm all gonna rank at the same power level. So yeah, just be aware of that. Pink Diamond, tad bit stronger than Steven, because I guess not as not as forgiving. I don't know, we'll put that there. Volleyball. I mentioned volleyball before in the Mega Pearl Fusion, but overall, I don't think she's very strong. Pearl's actually pretty weak. I'll be nice and give her a decent right below Peridot, but we'll leave it at that for now. Pink Steven, still stronger than Steven because he's literally like raging. But yeah. Ooh, what's this? This is Rainbow Quartz 2.0, I'm pretty sure. This is one of my favorite characters as well from the show. It's just like Mary Poppins a bit, but yeah. Well, it's definitely above Pearl. I would say it's right above Pearl in the strength tier. She's actually pretty funny. I especially like the episode where um Rainbow Quartz 2.0 is playing with Onion and she like sends him up the banister on the stairs and he like runs back down and she sends him up again and it's just like that for like a whole 2 minutes. Rainbow Quartz 1.0. Boo. Alright, no. You're like a sucky character, but so I'm gonna rate you just below Rainbow Quartz 2.0. I guess you know what, I'm leaving it at that. I don't like Rainbow Quartz. Alright, the Rutile twins. The Rutile twins are pretty weak, I would say. I would say a bit stronger than Fluorite, but still in the weak category. Just because they would probably, well, they're kind of slow and yeah. What's you called? Rhodonite. Rhodonite is, I would say all of the off colors are probably in the weak tier. Yeah, pretty much all of the off colors will be in the weak tier, I'd say. I'd say still stronger than the Rutile twins, but we'll just leave it at that. I just noticed that I clicked on one with only gems. If you want me to do a part 2 or a different type of tier list, or a different show or any type of tier list, then I can do that. Because tier lists aren't too hard for me to do. Rose quartz. There. She is Steven. What's this? Ruby. Stronger than Eyeball, but well, I would say Ruby is probably. I'm gonna be extremely generous and give her a bottom tier decent. That's just because, like, you know what? I know. I think she's a bit stronger than the other rubies, which would be around here. But yeah, Sapphire. She's right above Pachamama only because she can see the future. But by herself, she's really weak. Usually, Sapphires have 3 ruby guards around them that can fuse to make a big ruby to defend her. What are you called again? Sardonyx, that's right. You're probably around here. Stronger than Malachite, but not as strong as Alexandrite, I'd say. That seems fair enough as, yeah, you know what, no, I'm leaving it at that. If anyone has any problems or differences they would say about this, aka Blue Diamond would be godlike or anything you would like to change, just message me and comment on this video and I'll respond to what you think should be changed. Alright, what's this? Smoky quartz. I would say probably in the very powerful tier, stronger than Bluebird and what are you called again? I'm gonna call you Muffin, I forgot your name. But yeah. Yeah, why do I not remember your name? You're called Bluebird, but I don't know your name. You know what, forget. Spinel, one of my also favorite characters, especially in the future season. In the movie, she was sort of cooked. I would say she's strong, but not stronger than Pearl. By herself, she would probably be pretty weak. But with the Rejuvenator in the movie, put her above Holly Blue Agate. Steg. I would say he's top tier decent, possibly below the Lapises. But he does have Steven in it, so you know what, I'd write him bottom tier strong actually. Maybe above you. Yeah, above you. But yeah, that's my opinion. I think Steg's a pretty cool character, especially in that guitar solo. But I'll leave it at that. Oh, alright. Corrupted Steven. I would say this is possibly stronger than Obsidian, maybe. I'll rate right below Obsidian because it's still Steven, I guess. But yeah, that's a debate. That's a controversial one. All right. Uh, movie Steven. No, wait. I see the tiny bit of black shirt. So these are the same character. These are both grown up Steven. But in this one, he's pink, which means he's like got this superpower on him. But yeah, Stevonnie. All right, I like Stevonnie. She's cool. I would say she's probably though in the very powerful tier because yeah, I would say very powerful tier. Did I just say powerful? Never mind. I would say right below Aquamarine. That's her name. I'm not gonna say much more on Stevonnie because she's actually not in many episodes. I do like the episode where Kevin tries to get Steven and Connie to fuse, and he's like a total jerk to everyone, and it's sort of just like pushed aside. But yeah, let's get to the next character. Alright, so this next character is. I forgot the name of this character, but it's Garnet and Amethyst, and I heard that the fusion with Garnet and Amethyst in that episode is extremely questionable. But I'll put it below Megapole, I'd say, because you know what? I don't really have much to say about this character. I don't have really much to say about any of these characters because we've got a lot to go through, and it's 20 minutes into the video. Let's keep going. Alright, so this is Sunstone. This character is. I do not like Sunstone. She's only in 2 episodes and she sucks. But she is very powerful, I guess, above these. Probably above Smoky Quartz as well. I'm just going to leave it there. I don't really want to talk about Sunstone that much. Who are you? Topaz. You're Topaz. Well, by yourself, I'm going to give you decent. Because, I mean, I guess you're strong, but you can easily get around, and by yourself, you're really not that good. But, yeah. And you're pretty sympathetic, as he almost let Steven and Lars off the ship. But yeah, White Diamond, stronger than everyone. That's undebatable. White Diamond is the ultimate god power in the show. She actually pulled out Pink Diamond's gem, or if you want to call it a Rose Quartz gem or a Steven gem, then you can call it that. But I'm still going to call it Pink Diamond's gem. Alright, Yellow Diamond. Still a tiny bit stronger than Blue Diamond, I would say, but below White. I guess Blue Diamond is a bit more sympathetic, but I'll just leave it at that. Alright, Yellow Diamond's Pearl. Probably somewhere in weak, bit stronger than Blue Diamond's Pearl, but below this, well, yeah, that's good, I guess. Alright, so that's our whole tier list, and so far it's taken roughly 22 minutes to do this, so yeah, that's cool. Comment on the video on what type of video you want me to do next, and yeah, make sure to like if you enjoyed the video. If you didn't like it, then don't like. It's up to you. You can even dislike if you didn't like it. But yeah, thank you for watching, and goodbye.